Hello there! Welcome back to Zero Production Value Movie Reviews. My name is Hoernke, and today I'm going to be discussing the 2019 horror film Ready or Not, directed by Matt Bettinelli and Tyler Gillette. Not sure I got those names right. Don't really know those guys. Think they're pretty new to the directorial game, but here you have it. So this is a horror film from I believe it's last summer, 2019 summer. With comedic elements to it. I was very excited to see this movie. It took me quite a while to finally get around to it. I don't exactly know why I was excited. I thought maybe it was an entry into that sort of highbrow horror film, or even maybe just a well-done horror film, something kind of a mixture. I was getting impressions of kind of like You're Next, Cabin in the Woods, Get Out, like sort of something in that sort of realm. I was excited to see Samara Weaving cast as the main character. I remembered her from Netflix's The Babysitter, and I'm like, whoa, who is this gorgeous, big-eyed girl with all the charisma and all the vitality and sass, attitude for days. And she did a really good job with that antagonist role, the bad guy role in that, and I was very interested to see her take on the protagonist role, the final girl role in this film. So for all that excitement that I had going into this, I hated it. I did not like this movie at all. I thought it was an unintelligent script that they just didn't. There was bones of a story there that could have been good, but for me, they just didn't make it work on just about any level that they tried. Production design was good. That's about all I have to say about that. Also, going forward, this is going to be a huge spoiler review. I don't think I can convey my level of displeasure or annoyance at how this movie played out without giving you pretty extreme spoilers. So if you want to see this movie unencumbered, not knowing what happens, then don't watch this. Go away, watch that, come back, see if you agree with me or not. And you might like this movie. If you're looking for a recommendation out of this review, you're not going to get it from me because I friggin' hated it. So go make up your own mind and then let me know what you think. In any case, if you don't care about spoilers, then by all means, proceed with watching this review. So to start, we get this brief sort of intro setup thing where we see these two youngish boys, Alex and Daniel. Alex is the younger of the two. Daniel takes Alex and shoves him in a closet before being confronted by a stumbling man out of the darkness who has obviously been injured, wounded, and is looking for aid. Daniel promptly screams out, "He's here!" and gives up the guy's position, dimes him out. A whole plethora of people enter. They're holding back a weeping bride in gown. That's how you know she's a bride. They proceed to shoot the man and then carry him away, and that's our intro. Flash forward 30 years, and Alex is now the young boy from this, the one who got shoved in the closet, is now getting married. And he is marrying Samara Weaving's character, Grace. Now, Alex has apparently become estranged or sort of left the family proper as a whole. He's gone away. They don't really explain. Like, I think they reference him getting out, and then I think the mother references that she's happy that he's come back into the fold or something like that. So, but we get the impression that he left maybe because of his family's weirdness or something. He wanted to get away from them. In any case, so he's marrying Samara Weaving's Grace. After the wedding, he finally tells her, "Hey, we got to do this little ritual thing tonight. It's just a family thing, no big deal." It's going to be a big deal, just saying. So, as a sort of Byzantine backstory, I feel like they could have set this up better, but so their family has made their wealth in games, like board games, card games, I don't know, some games, right? And they had a benefactor. And if you just draw the dotted lines, apparently this benefactor is a devil-like figure, and they made a sort of Faustian bargain with him that they were going to do this thing every time a new family member entered the family, and in turn they would prosper and be wealthy and live fat off the land, I guess, or something, right? So, and the thing is that every time a new family member enters the family, like by marriage, they have this midnight ritual, and they draw a card from this box, this magic box, and on this card is displayed a game. Most oftentimes, we're led to believe this is an innocuous game. They give a few examples. The only one I remember right off the top of my head is one of the guys said he had to play Old Maid, right? So, Grace, being the new family member, draws the card. Alex is apprehensive. We know this is a horror movie, so we know this is where this is going. Grace doesn't know anything. Remember that. She draws a card, and everything changes when she draws a card and it says hide and seek. So now Alex is much more than apprehensive, and before he knows it, they take Grace away, and they're like, and she's just thinking, hey, hide and seek. All right, that seems a little silly. They say, you just have to hide on the estate. Not even on the estate, it's in the house. Like, all the doors are locked. You have to hide in the house until dawn, and it's our job to find you. They send her off on her merry way, all by herself. And obviously, they proceed to legitimately hunt this woman with archaic or old-timey weapons. I guess they're supposed to use weapons from the time when their great-grandfather, whoever it was who started the company, was alive. So they're running around with like crossbows and muskets and stuff like that. In any case, this is where everything... So that's our setup. And that's not so bad that far. Like, I can almost buy this whole thing up until that point. But then a lot of the logic flaws, the whole plot holes just assault me. First off, let's just say, I think it's a little disingenuous to have a game, right? And she thinks they're playing hide and seek, and they're really hunting her. Like, she's never going to expect that the first person to show up is going to blow her head off. So it seems a little lopsided on the whole game aspect. You think she would have to have been read into this at some point, but apparently that's not a thing. So let's just say she gets up to speed real fast when bullets start flying and other people start dying. They make it kind of a funny thing that the help sort of they keep picking off these help inadvertently, and that's supposed to be funny. It's just kind of stupid. Also, I cannot believe that Alex didn't have any sort of conversation with his fiance about this at all. Like, I understand that would be probably a problematic conversation, and also if the chances were really low that you might skip it, but I can't believe you wouldn't. I mean, this is supposed to be the love of your life, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and you're like, I'm just going to just ignore the fact that we might have to kill you later, right? So, anyway. Moving on, so as part of this hunt thing, this is where I have this other huge disconnect, and it's this family is so like comedically bloodthirsty about this hunt, this hide and seek game, running around from everybody from the patriarch and matriarch down to the kids. The other spouse's kids that are there, because it's like the whole group is like the mother, the father, an aunt, like a sister, a brother, the sister's husband, the brother's wife, their kids, all of them. All of them are like bloodthirsty little snots, right? But we're led to believe they make a point of telling you that this is a very rare occurrence, and this has only happened once in the last 30 years. So how in the heck is this family so bloodthirsty? Because every other time, we don't see the whole family unit like at all times, obviously, but we're meant to believe that they're a pretty normal family, and this is sort of this aberration, this aberrant event, yet they take to it like ducks to water. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why you think at least for maybe the senior generation would be all like, yeah, but the younger generation, you think there would be at least some scruples there, and especially with kids who have no idea what's going on, supposedly. It's ridiculous. So let's lead into the level of bloodshed in this movie, which is very low. And I'm like, this is a horror movie. We want to see what our expectation is that Grace, when confronted with this family intent to kill her, sort of inadvertently takes on this badass role and becomes a sort of avenging angel for herself, whether or not she takes the offensive or goes on the defensive and sort of stumbles into these encounters. But it barely ever happens. Like I said, they inadvertently kill the help. She sort of inadvertently kills the butler. She just spends the whole time trying to escape and inadvertently kills a butler. And honestly, right up until the end, when right near the end she finally confronts the mother and bludgeons her, I'm like, oh my god, finally I'm getting some freaking violence here out of this horror movie. Hey, I'm not a bloodthirsty guy, but come on, I'm watching a freaking horror movie here. So give me a little what I'm trying to watch a horror movie for, right? For crying out loud. And I think it's because they wanted to save a majority of the family for the final event, let's say. That being said, and then what probably put me over the edge was Alex, the husband, right? So each step of the way, they make a point of saying that he has been distanced or separated or left the family in some manner. We see Daniel hiding him so he's not privy to the events of the last time this happened, right? We get demonstrated that he left the family and has only returned to get married. Throughout the course of the narrative, he rebels. He's sequestered in a room and he rebels to help her fight and escape. So we get to the final climactic sort of confrontation thing, and then he betrays her. Like, he's gone through all this stuff to help her, and then he finally betrays her, and he decides, I'm going to stab her and end this. I was stunned. I was appalled in the way that they would. Like, I can see how they thought they were being super clever by setting up all these expectations and then subverting them. I just thought it was disingenuous to the character. I thought it just wasn't an intelligent way to do it. If they wanted to do that, I thought they could have done it smarter. And I even remember sitting there saying, I'm like, man, he better either help her escape or die trying, and otherwise I'm not going to be satisfied. And let's just say I was not satisfied. But his betrayal just appalled me. Like, I just didn't get it. I did not get it. It didn't register for me. I didn't believe that the character that they set up would do that. And I think that was exactly what they were going for, and I just didn't buy it. So all that's happening, and then, of course, dawn breaks, and then the family's sort of sitting there like, maybe nothing's going to happen. Right before they all explode in a shower of gore. And Alex has some little piddly like, hey baby, so sorry about all that. And he explodes all up on her. And I'm just like, you gotta be effing kidding me. That part I actually didn't mind. Like, I like the idea that they set up this family all dying as kind of a lunatic sort of proposition. You know, a huge groupthink mental model that just was too crazy to be believed, and then they actually follow through with it. Like, it actually happened. It worked that way. But other than that, I thought these guys were being too clever. I just didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was that entertaining. I didn't think that the action of a horror movie, which is, a slashery type horror movie, we just really didn't get that. There was cat and mouse, but there wasn't any follow through to the cat and mouse that was happening for the majority of the film. They were just being too clever, and they failed. And if you've ever seen the Lethal Weapon movies, remember Joe Pesci's character Leo Getz? In the end, they effed me at the drive-thru. That's what I thought. So, not for me. I hated it. Overall, I give Ready or Not an F. You might have a different opinion. You might see these things that they did and enjoy them, or think they worked within the context of the film. I obviously did not. Anyways, I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching my movie review. As always, I am Eric Hoernke. Rhymes with turnkey. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. And as always, this has been a production of Zero Value.